Hey, Eric.
Hey, Chris.
It's going to be dragons versus 16-bit RPGs versus Xbox 360's RPGs versus sequel seasons. Now, I think we have a good understanding of what the 16-bit and 360 are, but what are the retrograde amnesia sequel seasons that would potentially be on the docket?
What's eligible there? We've got Xenos Saga Episode 2.
Mm-hmm.
We have Parasite Eve 2.
A sequel to a miniseries season.
Of course, it's a sequel. We have Star Ocean 2, both versions. Actually, there's 3 versions of that. Fucking hell.
I'm in favor of that.
We have...
Final Fantasy 9.
I was wondering if that counted. I don't know.
I don't think it counts.
I don't think it should. Plus, there's
unless we need it to.
But there's also an imminent remake, so we could just kind of like...
Yeah, good point.
Like take advantage of that and continue to call ourselves prophets.
Lunar 2, Eternal Blue.
Lunar 2, yeah. Oh my God. Suikoden 3.
Suikoden 3.
Suikoden 3.
Wow, that would be... I don't know how popular that would be, but that's a good game. Or that's an interesting game. Anything else you can think of off the top of your head?
I couldn't think of the game Quintet made after Terra Enigma for Saturn. It's not an RPG.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Or actually, no. What about Planet Laika? Would that count? Was that a Quintet game?
It could count if we needed to. Again, if we needed to.
Yeah, possible.
Final Fantasy Tactics...
A2?
A2.
The GBA Dream one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So realistically, that one probably only have a couple choices. But,
sure. But I mean, they're all narrowed down to about 5 choices anyway.
But they would be good ones, yeah.
Yeah.
They're very big good ones. John Doe says Grand Stream Saga.
That's it. That's what I was thinking of. It's PS1 RPG.
Want to hear some hot sounds I've recorded?
You mean hot sounds I recorded?
Welcome to Retrograde Amnesia, a comprehensive podcast covering classic Japanese role-playing games, chapter by chapter, beat by beat. Welcome back to Season 7, Episode 29, covering Lunar, the Silver Star, and all of its adjacent stories. My name is Chris, and I'm joined today by this person, Eric. Hi.
I'm Eric. It's great to be in the studio with you, Chris.
Yes, the studio's looking fashionable today, right? Got some the Ninja Turtles are standing upright. And the clutter from that corner is no longer there.
Yeah, I got to get that TV from you.
Yes, you better get that TV from me before I decide to hang it on the wall. We're also joined by the RealNet, a collective of my fucking friends who are watching us record this podcast live on a secret video feed at patreon.com/retro.
I do think we swear too much, and I try to curtail it, honestly, but my fucking friends is just so randomly vulgar that that merits inclusion. Thank you.
Yes.
We're also joined by a fake net, a voice from the computer, and the only entity capable of separating Ray Crisis from Galactic Attack from Layer Section 2.
Initializing fake net.
Ray Force, also called Layer Section, was released for the Sega Saturn as Galactic Attack. Layer Section 2 was also known as Ray Storm. Ray Crisis was a prequel to Ray Force, which, as I just mentioned, was also known as Galactic Attack and Layer Section. It's quite simple.
Names, rights, renaming, US rights, Taito, I don't know.
Well, Eric, we've got a full party. The party is full.
Mm-hmm.
The house is full of animals now.
Right.
And we are in control of them, finally embarking on the one true quest of Lunar, which is what? To find the fucking dragons.
Kill the Magic Emperor by way of finding all the dragons, becoming a dragon master.
Eliminate all the toughest stains. Kill the Grand Poobah.
Eliminate all the toughest stains. Dare to be stupid. Prison guard. We're talking some NPCs in Nanza now that we have Kyle in our party. How's that sound to you, man?
I actually do find speaking to the NPCs in Nanza especially entertaining for whatever reason.
They're my favorite collection of weirdos, at least till we get to Marriott.
Yeah, if we were to rank the towns in terms of the endearingness of their NPCs, I would probably choose Nanza at this point in time.
Prison guard. Null recalls seeing Kyle sleeping and drooling in here. Kyle maintains that he has never slept in a prison cell. We are not needing this prison after the boss is leaving us. Kyle does not understand the implication. That's right, because no one else around here is strong enough to catch the criminals. Sky replies, oh yes, I am meaning that. Chris, have you ever become aware, at work or at home, of a system in place designed for you specifically, or to keep you from doing something?
So the analogy would be like, I discovered that I was wearing a shock collar.
A shock collar, or like, this isn't happening to me, but it's just the first thing I thought of. Like, what if I am so terrible at doing my laundry that my wife hides the detergent? So I go down there to do it and go, well, no detergent, and just walk away. But she's been hiding, like shit, like something that like somebody has set up to stop one of your maniac tendencies.
I've never discovered anybody doing that to me, but I do it all the time to my children.
Oh, yeah, of course. You
know
have
what I mean?
to for children. Yeah. As a parent, I can totally, like, you just remove options from them so they don't get themselves in trouble.
Yes, exactly.
That's why you don't have them, like, why the knives, I assume, are pushed back on the counter, shit like that.
I just randomly go on my phone onto my Eero network, my wireless network here.
Okay, yeah.
And just
cut off their access.
And just press restart network. I don't have the will to power to make them stop watching TV because it's time to stop watching TV.
You just reset the network, it kills it?
I just want them to be off the TV and not have to fight about it. So I restart the network and be like, hey, did anybody else notice that the internet's not working right now? It's
my
weird.
God. Dude, that's beautiful.
Well, anyway, go brush your teeth.
Oh my God.
I only use it every, like, it's like once every 2-3 month thing.
For telling me that, because now I have leverage over you. It's like, Chris, I'm going to tell your kids that you've been fucking with them unless you do what I want.
Yeah.
You know, that made me think, if you see something fucked up in my condo, it's because so the cat doesn't fuck with it. Like, against the nightstand, we have 2 chairs against those because he likes to open the drawers in the middle of the night and get in there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Stuff like that. Yellow guy vest in the hallway, in the basement. Jessica, I shall never forget our first kiss or the way your nose hair tickled my upper lip. Jessica denies the wrong part. She says, what are you talking about? I don't have a nose hair. Kyle interjects, he may be crazy, Jess, but he's not blind. Although if he keeps doing what I think he's doing when he thinks about you, that won't be the case much longer. Chris, have you ever beat the fuck out of a guy because he whacks off to your ex-girlfriend?
I've never beat the fuck out of a guy, period, so no, I haven't.
But that a going blind joke is an aggressive masturbation joke, right?
Yeah, I don't know where that comes from other than Adam Sandler referenced it in a song.
FakeNet, where does going blind for whacking off come from?
Initializing FakeNet.
The idea that masturbation leads to blindness is a common myth, often rooted in older media, religious beliefs, and ineffective sex education. While semen does contain zinc, a deficiency of which could affect vision, this is extremely unlikely to be caused by masturbation alone. If any of that were true, Eric would have had his vision impaired sometime around 1996.
Come from.
If you want to have a joke here, just have the FakeNet say grandma.
All right.
Grandma.
Great. Jessica, I beseech you to rub my shoulders, feed me grapes, and file my fingernails. Kyle replies, skip the other stuff and go for the shoulder rub. She has strong hands. Could you talk to anybody?
Well, before I started talking to people, I decided to go ahead and check out Kyle's equipment. You want to talk about Kyle's equipment?
Yeah, what's he wearing, man?
Well, he's
furry stuff.
He's wielding the bastard sword.
Perfect. Excellent starting equipment.
What was your first exposure to the bastard sword?
Mortal Kombat 4, Jarek had one.
Mortal Kombat 4 predates Lunar?
In terms of when I played it, yeah.
Okay. Mine was Diablo, the original Diablo.
Ooh.
The bastard sword was one of the strongest ones.
What defines a bastard sword for you? Is it a design or like a blade material?
I think it's somewhere between a standard longsword and a claymore. Like a claymore is like a giant two-handed sword. A bastard sword somewhere in the middle there in terms of size and strength.
Like in my head, it was like a machete type sword.
No, I think it's a straight double-edged blade. I think.
FakeNet, what do you think defines a bastard sword?
Initializing FakeNet.
Bastard sword is a medieval sword that sits between a one-handed and a two-handed sword. It's long enough to be used with 2 hands, but also light enough to be wielded with one. The term bastard suggests it's an in-between type, neither fully one-handed nor two-handed.
He's also wearing steel armor, which is stainless and shiny. He's wearing his steel shield, which deflects darn damage.
Good.
Darn it.
Yeah.
And the steel helmet, which absorbs noggin knocks.
Noggin.
So, good job, Victor. First guy I talked to was the eye patch guy standing near the gate, and he says, dude, my boss is hanging with you? Excellent. You should stop by Reza and check out the yearly harvest. I talked with somebody else who was perhaps underneath the bridge, and I can't see who they are, who says, promise me you'll look after Kyle, girly. He rants and raves about when you're around, but he cares about you more than anything. Jessica says, oh, don't worry. I'll keep both eyes on Loverboy.
Mm-hmm.
Kyle says, why do you always treat me like a child, Jess? Wah!
Good wah.
He turns into Waluigi for some point. Next thing I did was I went into the basement.
Yeah, that's where I am.
Indoors.
Mm-hmm.
Lady in the left hallway.
The one who refused to show us the merch?
Yes, she says, hello, children. I would show you the merchandise I'm selling, but you're too young to know about that sort of thing. Tee-hee. Kyle, of course, has something to say. He says, why are you looking at her so strangely? She sells herbs to relieve constipation. Love constipation jokes.
I do too. Again, that's a major 90s thing about it not being able to take a shit. It's very funny. On Sticky CD, she says we wouldn't know anything about the type of goods she's trying to sell, and Kyle says, but I do. Boy, do I. Wowee, I'll be seeing you soon.
Wow. She's talking about sex things.
I think later we find out she sells dildos.
Oh. Well, dildos can also relieve constipation.
That's true.
That is not true. Do not do that.
Next.
Did we talk to the guy next to the stairs yet?
Tell me what he says, Chris.
He says a word that we don't use anymore.
Uh-oh.
He says, so boss, how long have you been a transvestite? Which is a word I don't think we use anymore.
No, but that was like the nicest way to say it in the 90s.
It's better than some of the things you could say.
Yeah,
yes,
it is better
yes.
than other choices.
And I'm not really sure why that word isn't used anymore, but if I were to guess, it sounds rather dehumanizing.
I think so. And like Kyle just did cross-dressing, or like cross-dressing at most, or drag.
Yeah.
Even like I think just due to the like outrageous nature of the makeup, it borders more toward drag than cross-dressing, because he was putting on like a theatrical performance right there. But I guess drag has no intent to fool. I don't know. Again, we're not learning enough on that subject.
Yeah, I'm not. This is not my venue, but I just you don't hear that word anymore, and I think that's the reason why. Just doesn't sound good. Me and a few other guards have a bet going. Kyle says, I'm not a transvestite, you idiot. I did that to protect Nanza. Jessica says, you still seemed a little too fond of that outfit. Kyle says, well, it did feel soft and silky against... Never mind. Talk to him again. He says, boss, I think you should go out on the road. La Kyle et Folies. Hehehehe.
Chris, did you look up the reference?
I didn't. I recognize some French things in here, but I don't know what it means.
It's a reference to La Cage aux Folles. It's a musical with music and lyrics by Jerry Herman, and also a book by Harvey Fierstein. Based on the 1973 French play of the same name, the show tells the story of a gay couple, Georges, the manager of a Saint-Tropez nightclub featuring drag entertainment, and Albin, his romantic partner and star attraction. Farcical adventures ensue when household dynamics intersect with the ultra-conservative politician. Sick reference, Chris. How many 16-year-olds knew that in 1999?
All of them.
Okay.
All the kids. All the kids.
Everyone was a big...
all the kids knew it.
La Cage aux Folles.
Yeah, I feel like that was just one that Victor reached deep down.
Or like he loves French plays.
He loves French plays, yeah. That could be it. Or he's really into, making jokes out of...
I mean, it is contextually appropriate about the drag.
Yeah. It's also a scrotal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Check this out.
That's number 41. Let's cut to the blue hairman in Kyle's bedroom. He says, boss, I told Jessica about that woman you were going to take to the Marius zone.
Oh, no.
Kyle says, what? Have you lost the 2 marbles you were born with?
You have no marbles.
It's a major league reference. Jessica says, you're going to be missing 2 marbles if I hear about this hussy again, Kyle. 2 things about that. 2 marbles, good balls reference.
Yep.
And also the word hussy. I don't think it's the first time we've heard the word hussy in this game, but I love it.
I do love hussy. It's something that I don't think you hear in anything written in the last 25 years.
No, I feel like a hussy is what your grandma called Dolly Parton.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, sure.
Or something. I
don't know. It's funny because these days Dolly Parton's like one of the most wholesome people imaginable.
Yeah.
But I understand where you're coming from on that.
Kyle retorts and says, Jess, let me explain. Or I'll just shut up now. Kyle says, you'll get a pink slip and a butt kicking if you get me in trouble again like that. Then I spoke with Kyle's bed.
Let's get in Kyle's bed.
I love speaking with beds.
A lot of good stuff in there.
In fact, I wonder if beds should just be a character in the character tournament.
Just be, various beds.
Just all beds.
Perv bed comments.
Nall says, there are smells coming out of your bed that I can't begin to describe, Kyle. Kyle says, why, thank you. With hard work and bad hygiene, I can achieve anything. Nall, of course, says, you disgust me. Jessica says, hey, wait a sec. I know why you haven't thrown this away. We had our first kiss sitting on this bed, didn't we? Kyle says, I have no idea what you're talking about. Did you just slip into my liquor cabinet while I wasn't looking, Jess?
Chris, did you, by any chance, talk to the bed before we talked to Kyle and got him in our party?
I didn't, and I think that made me miss a bromide.
You missed a bromide.
Yes.
Yeah.
Did you miss the bromide too?
The first time, but we're going to get to a save corruption error for me a little bit later, so I went and got it on the second try. We'll get to it when we get to it.
Okay, I can't wait for save corruption.
I fucking hate this shit, dude.
Want to go to the kitchen now?
We can. Yeah, let's get in there.
All right, blue hair guy sitting here. A lot of blue hairs here.
Yeah, it'd be very funny. Like, I see to me blue hair as the lineage of godliness, right? Because in the Lunar world, people with blue hair, clearly Althena, the blue star, all that shit. It'd be very funny if all like the concentration of blue hairs was higher in Nanza than anywhere else.
That's funny. He says, "Hail, Kyle. Are you headed anywhere?" He says, "I just have to kill this freak who calls himself the Magic Emperor." Guy says, "Magic Emperor? You mean Galleon? Oh, Kyle, he's much too powerful."
This guy delivers hails throughout the entire game. Did you ever have like a weirdo kid you knew that did that?
Yeah, me.
Oh, you did hail?
I did hail because that was the universal greeting in
Jesus Christ.
Ultima Online.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
So you brought hail out of Ultima and into real life?
Yeah. Ultima is real life. I mean, Ultima Online.
No argument. You're right.
Just play some Ultima.
I know one Ultima story and I've told it like 3 times, so I can't get back in there.
I don't remember it, but thank you. I spoke with the lady sitting just above him, and she says, "Kyle, please tell me you were only joking when you told me you were going to be a singing princess." Kyle tells her to calm down, and don't tell anyone else you heard that, all right? Jessica says, "Don't worry, I'll tell everyone for her." Heh. Caped man, leather helmet, other side of table. He says, "Hello, Kyle. Thanks for escorting me into Nanza. I didn't realize it was you." Kyle says, "No problem. Have you tried the Brigand Surprise yet?" Which I think we discussed the Brigand Surprise, but we'll be discussing it some more soon. But first, we'll talk to the guy sitting at the other table, brown hair. He says, "Hail, Kyle." Another hailsman.
Good.
He says, "Did you eat any great meals on your journeys?"
I love when dudes talk about meals, by the way.
I love when dudes talk about meals, too. Have you had any great meals on your journeys lately?
No.
We did talk about fish and chips recently.
I had fish tonight.
And I didn't have fish and chips, but my wife did, and I had some fish, some of her fish.
Steal some wife food. Love it when wives don't finish eating their food.
I had this is very strange. I had one of the best Nashville hot chicken sandwiches that I've ever had.
Is this local? Can I go get it?
No, it was at a fucking restaurant attached to the indoor water park that we went to over the break.
That's a weird place to get good chicken.
And I was like, I asked the lady, I was like, "Is this good?" She goes, "Yeah, it's my favorite thing here. You should get it." He's like, "How are you with heat?" And I said,
Fuck me up.
I actually saluted her and I said, "I accept the challenge." and so I got the sandwich and I took a few bites of it, and she came back and was like, "How is it?" I was like, "It's got a good crunch to it. The best crunch. It's like not too juicy. It's got a real good crunch, good heat. It was great." Anyway, go to Mason, Ohio and get it. Anyway, he says, "Not really. Adventurers on the go have to eat a lot of fast food," which I don't think fast food exists in Lunar, but that probably means he stabs a rat with a fucking sword and then just eats it off the stick.
I would love to do that. It's like a kebab for a rat.
Rat kebab. Guy on the other end of the table says, "Kyle, you can't leave me here all alone. Take me with you." Kyle apologizes and says, "But this adventure is way too dangerous for a petite slab of sugar like you. But I might take you on another kind of adventure when I come back," which I think he means fucking.
Yep, that's it. I also think, Chris, it's very funny that you chose to keep track of the ones that I chose to ignore.
Well, my method is...
Talk to the first 6, then get the fuck out of here.
My method in this case was... Well, I mean, I just screenshotted everything because it requires less effort than writing it down. So.
Sure. Well, maybe.
Maybe.
That's true. I spoke with one of the cook ladies, and Kyle...
Oh, yeah. Tell me what the cook lady says.
Kyle says, "Hey, this stuff smells pretty good. What's on the menu for tonight?"
She's got a whole roster of stuff.
"It's your favorite, Nanza surprise." Kyle says, "Maybe we should stay here till tomorrow."
Did you keep talking to her? She says something different every time.
Yeah, Jessica says, "How about we get you a doggy bag instead, Mr. Bottomless Pit for a Stomach?"
Yeah.
Mr. Bottomless Pit for a Stomach. I love it.
It's a little wordy, but I think it works.
Yes, I've got the other dishes that she announces if we keep talking to her. Marriott Loaf. Meribian Veggie Combo.
Yeah.
Frontier Froth Soup.
I don't know if I want anything from the frontier.
And that's it.
Frothy. Give me some Santorum.
The other cook lady asks Kyle if he's going somewhere, and he says, "Yeah, I have to bump off some evil dude and save our world from destruction."
Just like Adol Christen.
She tells him to be careful. She knows how easily Kyle can lose control of himself. "Come back when you're done killing, and I'll bake you some nookie cookies." Does that mean she's going to give him her self?
I think so, because the nookie, as Fred Durst told us, was something that you do it all for. And that was in 99, right?
And
or was I know nookie was around before then, but that's when it went supersonic.
And what is saving the world from an evil emperor?
There's a chance to get laid by the lunch lady?
Is it nothing but doing it all for the nookie?
In Kyle's case, yes, I believe so. Nash as well, if you think about it.
Yeah.
Alex also, I mean, fucking shit. We're all doing it for the ladies, Chris.
Technically, yeah. Then she says, guaranteed to sweeten up your love life. Then I spoke with the food. Kyle says, man, there's just nothing quite like the smell of brigand surprise. Of course, it tastes like boiled fingernail clippings.
Might make an okay broth. You never know. It's probably salty.
And Eric, that's all I have for the kitchen.
I've got one more guy in the basement. It's a yellow vest guy in the bunks. He asked Kyle how he liked the dress. Mentioned a shortage of cross-dressers with his build to steal the dress from. Kyle replies, you should have heard the Vile Tribe wolf whistling at me, those perverts.
Wolf whistling. I like the terminology there.
I've got two guys I want to tell you about from Sega CD, Chris. One says, have you seen our stock of Barney videos? We take them out back and use them for target practice.
Barney videos? Can we scroll to the Sega CD?
I think so, but you go ahead.
Check this out.
Like,
that's 42, and this was an era of dunking on Barney, right?
Yeah, like the Doom mod that would have replaced the Doom guy with Beavis and Butthead, like Barney was the boss at the end of it. Like beating, in the movie 9 Months with Hugh Grant and Tom Arnold, they beat the fuck out of a Barney in a toy store. Like, not like Barney, it was like an imitation Barney.
Yeah.
But like, you're right, there was like an uncomfortable amount of beat this shit out of this children's dinosaur in ways that like the Teletubbies never experienced.
Was the ultimate culmination of that death to Smoochie?
I remember watching that and being profoundly bored. It was a purple dinosaur, but I don't know if it was like a Barney-like, was it?
I'm sure I watched it.
Like, it was trying to be subversive and weird because it had DeVito and Edward Norton and somebody else, I'm sure. But like, I remember just being like, this is a waste of talent. So sure, yeah, whatever. Another guy on Sega CD, he heard Alex was trying to become a Dragon Master, and he says, your chances are about as good as Galleon turning into a spry leprechaun and dancing off into the sunset. It's all before I went to the tower area. NPCs, little girl on the right tower at the top. Asked Kyle to bring her a present. Kyle says, of course he will, but she better be good while he's gone. Jessica replies, but you do realize she's jailbait, right? Kyle replies, hey, my name's Kyle, not Jerry Lee. Chris, what's that a reference to?
Jerry Lee Lewis?
That is correct. How old was Jerry Lee Lewis when he married his first cousin?
I don't know. I'm going to guess. How old was he?
Yeah. That's the first question. When he married his first cousin, which, by the way, was his third wife.
I'm going to say 49.
He was 22.
22.
22 years old.
How old was she?
13?
That's correct.
Okay, that's a guess. Fuck, okay. Great reference, Victor. I'm sure all the kids got it.
Check this out.
43.
Who you got, Chris?
I got the guy at the top. Look at the mountains.
Yeah.
That guy. He says, Kyle, my friend, can we talk about this protection fee of yours? Kyle says, I'm not in the mood to talk business right now. He says, come on, Kyle. What do I have to do to get a discount? Set you up with my nubile young assistant? Kyle says, I said I'm not, that's a start. Then he says, hey, wait a second. I heard you already had a girlfriend. Kyle says, who, her? We're just friends. That's all. Acquaintances even.
Right in front of her? Man.
Guy says, I wasn't talking about the young lady in the white robe. Maybe I'll just be quiet now.
There's a blue hair guy in the bottom right tower. He tells us about Iluk. Is that how we're pronouncing that city? I-L-U-K?
Sure.
And its most famous resident, Might, and that he's building a flying machine.
Oh.
Here's the shit there. Might does not live anywhere near Iluk. There's a guy named Shira in there who wants to build a flying machine, and I'm not sure if they crossed the wires or if, like, Might is a former resident of Iluk.
Oh, okay. Could be.
I don't know. Talk to the Brett-like on the left side.
I did not. I don't see him.
He wonders if the guards are still smarting from the thrashing some old man gave them, which that's Lake. And Cal replies, what? My men never told me about this. No soup for them.
Oh.
1 year.
No soup for you.
Check this out.
That's 44. Obviously a Seinfeld reference, the soup Nazi.
I am surprised it took this long for a Seinfeld reference to bubble up. Because Seinfeld, ended in 98 or 99, right? When it was going truly supersonic during the writing, the localization process for this game. In Sega CD, Lake is also referenced, and the guy says, there was a laughing man who refused to pay the fee. He beat the stuffing out of a bandit while only fighting with one hand. It was incredible. I've never seen anything like it. I've only got one more NPC, Chris.
Which one's that?
Lady off to the left side, the new store in Meribia, wants to go. Kyle offers to escort her, but they need to travel light. He tells her they should only take single sleeping bag.
Oh. It's thinking
to cuddle in, right?
Yeah.
Jessica tells Kyle if he's trying to make her jealous, it's not working. On Sega CD, this person presents the new store's owner as a scam artist selling charms to ward off evil. So Ramus may be deep into that grift game, more so in Sega CD.
Oh, okay.
And that's all I've got before I go to Nanza Pass.
Let's go to Nanza Pass.
Music Mysterious Cave plays, and shit, it's more of this shit, just like the east and west section of Nanza Pass.
Just some guys.
There's a bunch of guys here. We'd love NPCs, Chris. Tell me about them.
Just put the guys there.
Give me some guys.
Leather helmet, red cape. I've heard of a man in the Marius zone who is supposed to be one of the wisest men in the world. Perhaps this Damon could determine the weak point of the Magic Emperor and tell us how to bump him off.
It's a second Damon reference.
Second bump off reference, too.
Oh yeah, damn. Supposedly also lives in a tower that's overrun with monsters. If that's really true, then he can't be that smart.
Anybody else?
Yellow vest guy. Hey boss, hey Jessica, I haven't seen you in a while. You two are getting along, aren't you? My ears were ringing for a week the last time you two got into a fight. Jessica says, don't worry, Kyle knows better than to argue with her again. Old man, yellow coat, gray beard. Hello, children. I've heard there is a huge volcano on the west side of the Marius zone. Where there are volcanoes, there are usually hot springs. I'd love to have just one soak in that wonderful water. It might even cure my arthritis. Does every old man in this game have an ailment? Be it like, my teeth are fucked up, I need a wig, I need to go in a hot spring to cure ailments? Are old men only broken pieces of shit?
Yes. In fact, in this world.
Like the one in Burg is worried about the world ending and like wants to die. Like there is no more dire a character in this game than the old man. Lady at the south end with the kid. Oh, Kyle, how are you? Thank you so much for having your men escort us through the barrier. I've never felt so safe. Nash says, oh yes, Kyle, you're a great man indeed. But then Nash thinks, watching you charm women and rip off men has never made me feel so sick. Kyle gets mad, asks Nash to speak above a whisper and share with the rest of us. Nash implies he was just clearing his throat and suggests Kyle go beat up the Magic Emperor. Chris, what's worse? Deceiving your friends and reporting to vile tribe ladies in Galleon? Or doing what Kyle does, maybe treat ladies a little too nice and charge men a little bit more?
I would say that in this case, the Nash scenario is worse.
I think Nash is always worse.
Yeah.
I think it's some projection going on here, Chris.
Is that it?
No, I talked to the little blue-haired kid with the lady.
Oh, yeah.
Mom, look, it's Kyle. When I grow up, I'm going to steal the money and be rich like him. Kyle tells this kid he's wise beyond his years and he has a great future ahead of him. Jessica suggests Kyle should tell the young boy to pursue a career outside of crime. My mom says Kyle is a hunk and a half. Whatever that means. All I know is that he's rich. Other kid says hello to Kyle that he's been, as ordered, protecting all the women and children free of charge. Kyle reminds him to charge the men double the normal fee. Also, you know the enemy we fight here, it's Gigawasps.
Oh, yeah, the same ones from before.
Yeah.
They are pushovers. I decided to go ahead and use my dragon wings and go back to Althena's shrine.
Okay, we can go there. I went
quick.
to every other city in the fucking thing, but sure, let's go to Althena's shrine with Kyle.
Yes, I just did one quick thing in here. I stopped and I spoke with the one that thinks
Mother plays.
Jessica is her sister.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, as Mother is playing it, of course. And she says, Jessica, I'm going to cast a spell on you to make you stay here with me. Jessica says, I'm not going to tell you again, lady. I do not have a sister. Kyle says, I believe you, Jess. You're too spoiled to be anything but an only child. The girl then says, all I had to remind me of you while you were gone was this. Jessica says, what the? Give me that. Got Jess's bromide number 1. You stole this from my room. You probably to be the centerpiece of your shrine.
Centerpiece is spelled wrong.
How do you spell centerpiece?
Oh, no, I'm sorry. There's no of. The centerpiece, your shrine.
Oh, okay. Yes. Editorially added, I guess, by my brain. The girl says, you gave that picture to me, and it's not a shrine, it's an altar.
Oh, shit.
Then in parentheses, she says, I should sell the rest of my pictures to Ramus's store.
And she does. You can get another Jessica bromide at Ramus's store post-game.
Oh, cool. But Jessica says, now she's talking to herself. This poor girl is insane in the membrane.
Chris, do you like Cypress Hill?
I like the song Insane in the Membrane. I remember it from Days of Yore, and I remember the music video somewhat.
Yeah.
I think it has kind of like a hazy filter over it.
Yeah,
and they were in
because
like
you're insane in the membrane.
Yes, they were singing in the Tekken level, the small Tekken 4 level.
The Fight Club level?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, I think that's where they were singing.
All right.
I'm going to press a button now.
Yeah.
Check this out.
45.
The Cypress Hill song I was exposed to through Gran Turismo 2 was, of course, Super Bon Bon.
Super Bon Bon.
Super Bon Bon.
Did you look at the bromide?
Yeah, it's called Jess's bromide number 1, what to wear, question mark. And she is deciding what to wear.
She's looking in a mirror, trying on a white dress. This is a horny for legs bromide. You like legs? It's got some legs.
Yeah, the
Some gams.
Was it Facia's bromide was also a lusty leg situation?
Yeah, you can only show much skin, and what's easier than leg skin?
Just have long legs.
That's right. One other person here I think we're talking to, lady with blue hair on the right. Can't believe Kyle is the friend Jessica's been going to go see. After some banter, Kyle replies, so you're Jess's friend? Let's go somewhere. Jessica screams at Kyle and asks if he has no shame. Kyle replies, what? I was going to ask her what she thinks I should buy you for your birthday.
Oh.
Where do you want to go next, Chris?
Wherever you want.
Wherever I want, really? Load the hamster, Chris.
I would like to go to Reza, but...
All right, that's good. Let's go to Burg.
Okay.
Music Burg plays.
Is this the last round? Like, we have Kyle now. Nothing else is going to change, right?
Are you fucking serious?
No. Yes. No. Okay, give me the good ones.
Listen to future episodes. Music Burg plays. The old man near Alex's house who laments the world falling to Galleon. Kyle tells him, lighten up, old man. Haven't you heard that we're going to get rid of the magic gimp for you? He replies, I was as young and foolish. I wish I was as young and foolish as you. I would be equally overconfident, but I know a dark age is coming. Hey, Chris, what's a magic gimp?
A leprechaun.
Yeah, fine.
Is that right?
I don't know.
Specifically the leprechaun from the Lucky Charms.
Lucky?
Lucky.
Lucky.
Is his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's chasing cereal, not gold. What a loser.
Well, yeah, with gimp, to me, I think gimp, the default idea of gimp is the shit they find in Pulp Fiction. When they bring it out to fuck Marcellus Wallace or whatever, and it's wearing the gimp mask, and it's all in fucking leather and shit.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think of just somebody who has like a slight limp. Like, oh, my leg's gimpy right now.
No, I think it's sexual connotation. Fake net, what's the first definition of gimp?
Initializing fake net.
A disabled person. This might be a slur soon, if not already.
Fine then.
Finally, the last NPC we're talking to in Burg. The Null is a dragon guy.
Ever.
This person now believes Null is a combined form of human and dragon. Kyle replies, I still think you're just a cat with a genetically confused identity. This guy continues, I've been thinking about taking a trip to the frontier to see if I can find any of Null's relatives. Where do you want to go next, Chris? What do you think? Where do you think I went next?
Saith.
That's correct. Burg plays.
Mm-hmm.
Entrance guy with purple hair asks who's going to save us from the Magic Emperor, and Kyle and Jessica have a fun moment where they finally agree on something.
Mm-hmm.
The guy asks us to think of the Magic Emperor as a really big booger. Because we've already slayed a booger before. This is just a bigger booger.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
The child with
all
pink...
boss creatures are boogers. When you think about it.
Totally, yeah. Just slime. You got to get out of the way.
Out of my way, booger.
Let me eat it. The child with pink hair who wants to marry Alex.
Oh, yeah, that one.
She can't wait to be Alex's trophy wife after he smashes Galleon. Kyle replies, Alex already has a significant other, Honeymelons. But I'd be happy to ice Galleon for you. Jessica replies, the harder you try to make me jealous, Kyle, the harder I laugh. Kyle wonders why Jess is not laughing and tells her she's scaring him.
Isn't this like a 10-year-old?
That's the read I get. Kyle called her Honeymelons, though, Chris. Like, to me, I think it's cute for a 10-year-old to want to marry Alex, right?
10's a little bit too old. I'm thinking like 4.
4-year-olds can't even talk.
Yes, they can.
The guy outside the bar says the bar is still open with the Magic Emperor around. He doesn't feel like this is a time to be drinking. Kyle replies, what's wrong with you? This is the perfect time to be drinking. Chug 9 or 10 mugs of beer and you won't remember your own name, much less the Magic Emperor. Try it. You'll like it. Jessica reminds Kyle, drinking might be your answer to everything, but don't force it on anyone else. My dude replies, I'm going to drink until I forget my fear or run out of money. Oh yeah, I'm already out of money.
What if your fear is running out of money?
That's everybody's fear, isn't it?
Technically, yeah. I mean...
And then it makes you normal.
Okay, thank you. I'm normal, I guess.
Inside the bar, Kyle tells the drunk guy he's chugged twice as much booze as that before breakfast. Kyle wants to bet Brett 2,000S that Althena socks it to Galleon. Jessica tells Kyle, if you're going to gamble, then gamble. Make it 10,000, Brett. Whoa, I didn't realize gambling fever was so contagious. Kyle replies, are you sure you caught it from me, Jess? I thought it was the other way around. Holy fuck, there's a lot more. A guy in the middle of the house who's missing his dentures heard about it, the thieves in a town called Nanza. Jessica begs Kyle to tell her none of his men would stoop this low as to steal this man's dentures. Kyle says, hell no. Could have been taken by someone from the Thieves Guild in Reza. Those guys would steal the candy out of a baby's mouth, so why not steal the teeth out of an old man's mouth? All says this is sick.
I can't believe it.
Let's skip this Jessica freaking out about Mel.
More teeth.
Girl on the top left, green outfit, short blue beret. She's happy or impressed that Galleon became the Magic Emperor. That makes him even more of a beefcake biscuit.
A beefcake biscuit?
A beefcake biscuit.
It's some good alliteration.
No, it's not.
Yeah, it is.
She asks if we can get his autograph, and Kyle tells her, why do you want Galleon's autograph when you can get mine instead? Honey Bomb.
Honey...
What's worse, Honey Bomb or Honeymelons?
Honeymelons is way worse.
Because it's like a different version of like sugar tits.
Honeymelons is like just below, what was the The word that disgusted me in the last episode, like slobber kisser or something. Or
Slobber knocker, slipper
kisser.
Slipper kisser, yeah.
Yeah. Honeymelons is not as bad as slipper kisser, but it's getting there, especially when you're saying it to a 10-year-old.
Yeah, Kyle is this like, does Kyle's vulgarity like reinforce his like brutish thief thing, or is it too much? Like womanizing fucko? Like, is his arc to not be a womanizing fucko?
From our perspective, which is the perspective of speaking with every NPC in the game.
Right, the unique perspective.
Yes, it's too much. But in reality, when you're only speaking to every few NPCs,
right? Yeah,
you need this to come through once or twice.
Okay,
and I think it probably works. The way in which we are digesting this game, it is too much. But I don't think that was the intent.
I don't think after you leave Saith the first time, you ever have to go back to Saith.
Yeah, fuck Saith. Saith's way too big. The spank my bottom and call me blank is
pink-haired cotton candy man up there. He says freaking. Jessica replies, I'd be happy to stick that pen on the dark side of your moon, Kyle.
The dark side of the moon. That's a Pink Floyd reference.
I think it's an asshole reference.
I think it's a Transformers reference.
It's a Luigi's Mansion reference.
Okay, fine.
I've heard of you, Kyle, but I only want the Magic Emperor's autograph. If you can get it for me, I'll show you my gratitude, among other things. Blowjobs. We go to Meribia?
It's our second blowjob game. The first one being Suikoden 2.
Among other things, my guess is blowjobs.
Somebody on the Suikoden Reddit pointed out that when, what was her name? Rena did the blowjob to pass the checkpoint. Off-screen blowjob.
Sexual favors. Was it blowjob or just like sex thing?
It was sex thing, yes.
Okay.
Somebody pointed out that in her inventory, she has a raging blow rune.
Rune, okay.
Yeah.
Or
a scroll, I mean.
Okay. I didn't know that.
It's pretty cool, isn't it?
Yeah, that's nice. That's good. Blow it like the wind.
Yeah.
That can't feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Meribia with Kyle. Music, Meribia plays. Chris, did you go here?
I did not go with Kyle. No.
If you look at the poster warning Meribians not to travel across the Nanza barrier, the one with Kyle's face on it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially not young ladies, Kyle will say, why does Mel treat us like criminals? We protect Nanza, and wasn't he abandoned once?
That's true.
Yeah. It really makes you think, doesn't it?
All pirates and brigands will eventually become governors.
Ramus's shop, Have a Big Dream plays. Dross thinks Ramus may have saved up enough silver to buy Lunar at this point. Kyle, the moon?
Yeah.
Kyle tells Dross that Ramus is also getting noticed by the Syndicate in Reza.
Oh, there's a Syndicate in Reza.
Thieves Guild.
Thieves Guild, yeah.
He says, Reza, the home of the Thieves Guild? I'll tell Ramus at once. We'll have to beef up our security. Talk to Ramus. He asks Alex to take him back to Burg after he rescues Luna. Also, hey, this must be the legendary Kyle I keep hearing about. Are you as good as everyone says? Kyle says, I'm better. He goes on to say, Alex, I can't believe how popular my shop has become, but I definitely can believe how many girls are talking to me now. The house on the far right with the the mixed beast couple.
Yeah.
Kyle tells the pink-haired gentle beast, you're a lucky beastman. Your girl is so kind and ladylike. My girlfriend likes to pinch my butt. Kyle will go on to ask to be introduced to his girlfriend. I always enjoy the opportunity for social intercourse. Let's talk about the word intercourse. Was that necessary? Are we having social intercourse right now, Chris?
I believe we are having social intercourse.
Fuck
right
yeah,
now.
dude.
Is the word intercourse on its own simply
I think it's sex 100% of the time.
Well, then why do they call it sexual intercourse and not just intercourse?
It's the implication. Do you ever use intercourse for anything other than sexual intercourse?
No, because of the implication.
Right.
But like when that term was invented, like intercourse, the term intercourse wasn't invented to describe sexual intercourse.
Is that true? Can you say that definitively?
Hold on.
Whoa, you're looking up something in real time. Fuck the fake net.
Please do not intercourse the fake net.
Communication or dealings between individuals or groups. So yes, we are having intercourse right now.
Thank you for having intercourse with me, Chris.
We are not having penile vaginal intercourse, which is the primary form of penetrative sexual intercourse in human sexuality.
That's true. Primary, not only. Primary. That's great. Let's go to the bar. Music bar plays. The bunny lady on the right balcony tells Jessica she's always here if Jessica needs a shoulder to cry on. Kyle replies, Jess, I want you to know I'm always here if you ever need a tongue to chew on. Jessica tells Kyle he is a pig.
A tongue to chew on. Is that like a perverse way of saying like a shoulder to cry on? Or a shoulder
are you
to lean
sad?
on?
Do you want to suck my tongue like Castor Troy?
Yeah.
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 Okay.
If I were to let you suck my tongue, would you be grateful?
Tongue intercourse.
Are you... I'm not quivering, but are you? I'm just checking.
No.
Okay.
I can appreciate some tongue course. What was that? Fuck. Tongue to chew on. Mel's mansion with Kyle. Lady in the bedroom. Wonders how she can go on without Master Mel. Kyle tells her, I could help fill the gap in your life, baby. Jessica tells Kyle there's about to be a gap where your front teeth used to be. This is the entire fucking thing everywhere. Kyle makes a pervert comment. Jessica threatens to beat the fuck out of him. This is every single interaction.
That is true. That was the assignment when this dialogue was written.
For every single thing?
So that somebody would stumble across it, right?
The older lady in the dining room, the one who wishes they would have turned her to stone instead of Mel, Kyle replies, there, honey lips. Kyle always has a beefy shoulder to cry on.
Honey lips.
Honeymelons. Something.
Honey tits.
The honey term ranking count.
Yeah, we're not doing that, but we could.
Jessica tells Kyle, you'll have a beefy knot in your forehead if you don't cut it out.
John Doe wonders if that was a fucking face-off reference. Was there a face-off reference?
Castor Troy, of course, Chris.
Oh, you making the face-off reference.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
when he
Okay.
approaches the flight attendant and says, would you be grateful if I let you suck my tongue?
Yeah, okay.
Watching that with your dad's real weird. I don't recommend it when you're fucking 13.
No.
Assistant man outside of Mel's office. Kyle tells him he's good at cleaning up messes as he is making them. The guy replies, Kyle, get away from Jessica this instant, you thieving scoundrel. Just because Mel's indisposed doesn't mean you're welcome here. Kyle replies, wow, I hope I'm as lively as you when I get to be your age. Jessica's room. The dresser. Same thing, but Kyle says the clothes would look good. The bed. Null makes a comment about giant marshmallows, and Kyle reminds Null to look out for drool spots. Jessica replies, I don't drool. I'm a salivary gland challenged girl. All right, I drool. Have you taken Kyle to see Stoned Mel yet?
I haven't taken Kyle to see Stoned Mel yet.
I have.
Okay, can you please tell me what happens when you take Kyle to see Stoned Mel?
Kyle says, Master Mel looks like he needs a good dusting.
Yeah, it's probably true, actually.
Null replies, Kyle, you ignorant slut. What about poor Jessica?
He says slut?
Chris, do you like Dan Aykroyd?
I like Dan Aykroyd. He seems fine.
They're on the second season of SNL, one of the first four, when Dan Aykroyd and Jane Curtin were on it, when they hosted Weekend Update together. One of the popular lines that came out about that was Dan Aykroyd getting incensed and saying, Jane, you ignorant slut.
Okay, yeah, I do remember that.
Jane, you ignorant slut.
So this isn't as bad of a comment as you think. However,
I must press the button.
Check this out.
46.
I do think it's funny that Null called Kyle that. Like, Kyle didn't call a lady a slut. Null called Kyle an ignorant slut.
Yeah, that makes it kind of funny, I think.
Kyle replies, hey, I realize what Jessica's going through. She talks about the old fart every chance she gets. I know how much she loves him. I'll help you get him back to normal, old man, and you'll be able to yell at me every chance you get, just like before. Jessica's heart will be unbroken if I don't. Jessica replies, I'm going to save my dad. I just need you to stay out of my way, Kyle. Kyle replies, what are you saying? You need me, Jess. You're not strong enough to do this by yourself. Jessica gets even angrier. What? How dare you insult me like that in my own house? That's it. Kyle tells her, fine, see how far you get without my help. Jessica says, fine, I will. Kyle says, fine, great. Jessica replies, fine. Kyle says, fine. Null screams, fine. End of scene.
They really went for it on that one, didn't they?
Let's go to Vane.
Let's go to Vane.
Let's go to Vane.
City of Magic plays NPC. Wizard who thinks Galleon's a fool. Kyle says it sounds like Galleon didn't think too far ahead. Nash replies, he's not like you, Kyle. I'm sure Galleon has a plan. I was only writing the essentials. That was stupid. Lady in the upper left, who puts her faith in Galleon, now doesn't know what to think. Kyle tells her you have to put your faith in people who are strong, smart, and incredibly attractive. Take me, for example. Jessica says, would you take him? He seems to suffer from frequent delusions. The little kid doesn't care if I go to the guild anymore. All I want to do is play all day. Kyle tells him, learning's more about than doing what you're told, kid. It's about making an effort on your own. Jessica tells the little kid this is the first normal thing she's ever heard Kyle say. Kyle asks if she's feeling all right. The kid resolves to go study at the library. Isn't that what you want all children to do, Chris?
No, but I don't know how safe the internet is there. I need to be.
That's an excellent question.
I
Actually,
need to be in control of my children's internet.
Yeah.
Can you block websites at the library, or is that suppression of free speech?
Fake net?
Initializing fake net.
Yes, libraries generally block certain types of internet content through filters. This is often a requirement for libraries receiving federal funding, as mandated by the Children's Internet Protection Act, which requires libraries to block content that is obscene, contains child pornography, or is harmful to minors.
The answer is probably yes, but...
Bottom right residential house. Blue-haired child asks for going after the vile tribe. Nash says they're no match for his magic. Kyle says, fuck your magic, we don't need it. Not after I'm done hacking those monsters into quivering piles of bloody muck.
After I'm done releasing this weasel.
Jessica tells the child to ignore Kyle and Nash. Mia tells the kid to keep taking your Ritalin.
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 Capital R. Ritalin.
They still prescribe that? I think they do.
Magic Guild. City of Magic plays. Lemmy a room guard. Tells the gang to watch out for Nanza hooligans. Kyle replies, Hooligans! Hooligans! Why, thank you. My men and I pride ourselves on our ability to eat, drink, and be rowdy. Oh, you're the leader of Nanza? In the company of Mia Asa? Kyle replies, what can I tell you, bud? The cute girls are always attracted to the bad boys.
Yeah.
Bottom left main.
I'm told that's true on all the
My men's rights forums.
all the YouTube all the Black Pill YouTube channels I watch.
What's Black Pill?
You should look into it, but
I do own my algorithm corrupted. I'm currently having a great time with running shoe videos and fucking RPG deep dives. Bottom left guy main hall, the one who says Diane would be filled with sorrow to see what his best friend Galleon had become. Kyle replies, no doubt, maybe it's a good thing he croaked when he did. Jessica believes this to be a horrible thing to say. If Dine was here, maybe he'd slap some sense into Galleon. Kyle replies, come on, Jess, who'd want to fight their best friend to death? That would suck.
Is that a reference to the ending of the arcade version of Double Dragon?
No, it's a reference to the arcade ending of Dynamite Cop, which is in itself a reference to Double Dragon.
God bless the ring.
Top right guy in the main hall, when he says Galleon would be stronger than Dragon Master himself if he possessed all Dragon's powers, Kyle replies, no problem, sir, I could whoop his ass any day. Jessica tells Kyle the only time you'll ever show humility is when I'll beat you with leg wrestling.
Leg wrestling?
You ever leg wrestle?
Is that where you put your feet up against each other and you...
Yeah, it's like arm wrestling but with fucking thighs.
Oh, like are you trying to pin them or are you trying to push them?
I think you're trying to flip them.
Oh no, I've never leg wrestled before.
Yeah, I used to do that in until they told us not to at the fucking daycare thing I went to. I think some kid got one of his teeth knocked out. Not like a baby tooth, like one of the fucking good ones.
One of the good ones.
One of the good ones.
Gotcha.
Bottom right guy wonders if Galleon's holding auditions to make a new ABBA. Null thinks that can't be possible as Luna is no dancing queen. Fuck me, he replies, I'll tell you what I want, what I really, really want. I want Galleon to bite me. Chris, do you like the Spice Girls?
I think the Spice Girls can exist.
How many Spice Girls can you name? 5 of them. Let's count them down.
Scary Spice?
Correct.
Baby Spice?
Correct. Emma Bunton.
Spooky Spice?
That was Scary Spice. That's not correct.
Okay,
You think that you truly believe they would have Spooky and Scary Spice in the
why
Spice
not?
Girls?
Why wouldn't you?
It's fucked up enough that Spooky Spice was the black one. Go ahead.
Is there a Sexy Spice?
They don't use that word in England. They call her something else. I'll give you partial credit for that.
Saucy Spice.
No, they definitely don't use that.
Well, what's
Victoria Beckham, Chris? Come on. What was she known as?
Well, for that one, I was going to say David Beckham's wife.
Not correct.
Posh Spice.
Correct. You got 2 left.
Is that Victoria?
Yeah.
Okay. Silly Spice?
No, in fact, I think there are 2. Okay, Posh Spice is I was incorrect. Sexy Spice is not Posh Spice. Posh Spice is I'm better than you, I'm rich, that kind of shit. There was a Sexy Spice too, but she had a different name. She was the first one to leave. Jerry Halliwell. Come on, Chris. I've memorized all these because I'm a citizen of the world.
Hottie Spice?
Hottie Spice. No, it's Ginger Spice, you fucking idiot.
Ginger Spice.
My God, there's one more. Mel C, come on.
Flamin' Spice.
Flamin' Spice.
Flamin' Spice.
Sporty Spice.
Sporty Spice. I should have known that one.
I mean, you went 2.5 out of 5. That's not bad, really.
Yeah, I apologize. I think the Spice Girls are fine.
I think they're wonderful.
They briefly took over.
To become one.
They briefly took over the world for 6 months or something, right?
It's longer than that. Come on, man.
Time compression. Lemia.
Talk to Lemia. She asks if we found the red dragon. Mia says we haven't had much time, but soon will since Kyle's here. Kyle tells Lemia, your lovely sister is absolutely right, Lemia. I can find Red Dragon Cave blindfolded. Lemia replies, sister? You mean my daughter? Kyle replies, really? Come on now, you're just messing with me. Lemia replies, Mel told me about you, the rogue who guards the Nanza barrier. Watch yourself around this one, Mia. I've seen his kind before.
By the way, I forgot to press the button for the Spice Girls. Yeah,
okay.
I have to do that.
Yeah.
Check this out.
From the hit song Wannabe, obviously.
47.
Top left classroom. Top left kid, he wants to do a group hug, then fight Galleon. Kyle calls him a bud.
Calls him Bud?
Pud.
Pud.
Yeah. You know where my mind goes when I hear the word Pud.
The Adam Sandler sketch with the buffoon?
No.
What?
.pud.
What's .pud? Is that a Quake map?
Is the extension for Warcraft 2 custom maps.
That's fucking weird. Why was it called that?
Doom is WAD.
Yeah. I don't, oh, okay. So Pud, WAD Pud.
I don't know why that is.
WAD of cum. What are we doing?
That's what it was. I was big into making Warcraft 2 custom maps.
That's very on brand. Very good.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Top right kid thinks they wasted their time studying and cheating on exams. I think I'll start studying the most effective and painless ways to kill myself. Kyle replies, man, I'd hate to see this kid's reaction if she ever got a B on a report card. Casual suicide, Chris. Can we go to Lann?
Well, yeah.
Traffic plays.
Fish.
Kyle stuff, an instance where Jessica bites him. Another where Kyle tries to give a fisherman a 10% discount. The guy who calls Jessica a lush, Kyle says, did you hear that? He thinks Jessica's sexy. This is beer. This is a brain on beer. Any questions? Chris, do you like the fried egg war on drug ads?
This is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
I wouldn't say that I like them, but
You've memorized them.
I do remember them, especially the I learned it from watching you one.
Oh yeah, that was the same general family of ads.
Yeah. Where he found the cigar box, the dad found the cigar box that the kid was hiding under the bed.
Yeah.
And he opened it up and it had like every drug imaginable in there.
Oh yeah, just all of them.
All the drugs.
Fucking
And
9-year-old's got everything.
He said, where'd you learn this? I learned this from watching you.
Yeah, stop shooting heroin, Dad.
Yeah, I'm pressing the button for the war on drugs.
Check this out.
The Scrotal World Tour continues with Scrotal number 48.
Do you remember how psychotically serious the fried egg drugs? He's like, this is your brain on drugs. Any questions?
Oh, yeah, it was absolutely serious.
Like, that would scare the shit out of you type thing. Like, my brain's going to be a fried egg.
They don't really do those anymore, I don't think.
I mean, the war on drugs was lost decades ago, and it was ineffective at best, right? So, well, the man with cotton candy hair in the middle of the residential houses wants to ask Kyle a favor, calls him young man. He wants Kyle to protect his grandchild on a trip to the Magic Guild. Kyle replies, how about that, Jessica? Unlike your dad, some people actually trust me with their chicks. Daughters. Kyle eventually tells the man he'd love to, but he's a bit busy right now, but he will assign his best man to the job. At this point, my save file becomes corrupted, and I lose everything from right after the vile crustacean to now. I am very mad at computer, very angry with Memcard Pro 1. I will quit the game for now and load a save from hours ago. Okay, now it's weeks later. Let's get back to the world map and go to Reza. Also, I have Jessica's bromide from Kyle's bed. It's Jessica in a bikini lying on the beach.
Oh.
You want to go to Reza?
There's beaches here?
There's coasts. There's got to be.
Yeah, I want to go to Reza because I don't think we've had any story progression in this episode.
We've learned plenty in this episode, Chris.
No, story progression.
I've learned a lot.
And I do believe that we have to have at least some story progression before an episode can end.
Traffic plays in Garsh. I think Reza must be that whole area thing up here on the world map. Also, PSP Superhero Gaming has closed their channel and deleted all of their shit. Thankfully, I found out their playthrough was via the YouTube account Sefri Plays, and all information from Harmony forward from here out will come from their Let's Play.
Yeah.
Music, Thieves Bazaar plays, and as the world map indicated, the place is made of a little white sandstone and surrounds a dirt arena. Altogether different looking from any other location of the game so far. Good show.
It looks really good as compared to everything else. It's less RPG
Organized.
Town adjacent.
It's like Alamo-style Wild West type thing.
Yeah, it looks like Speedy Gonzalez could be rolling around here at any point in time.
I assume the word Reza is written in the Lunar alphabet on the pink and white arch thing above the door.
Yeah, but it looks like potash.
It does look like potash. I love me some potash.
Yes.
Jesus Christ.
Pistachios.
Cool cow skin pattern with pink and white splotches. Did you notice anything funny about the goddess statue?
I'm looking at it now. It looks kind of defaced, right?
There's 2 fresh bouquets and a nearly full glass bottle of pink liquid sitting next to it.
Oh, I see it. Okay. The shadows on it are a little bit different. It looks like it could be defaced, but that is interesting that they're sacrificing their liquor to God.
Yeah. Are they sacrificing liquor, or is this like a memorial thing since God's dead?
Oh, interesting. Could be. I spoke with the town crier here.
Yeah.
He says, this is Reza, a refuge for those too guilty to face the law-abiding world. What are a bunch of fresh-faced kids like you doing around here? Did your lunch money get stolen?
A bit more background on Reza. It looks like the white sandstone of the exterior is like a gravy on top of pastel-colored tiles. Are you seeing that? Like where there's like pastel bathroom tiling with like the concrete whiteness poured over it?
Yeah, a little bit. It looks like some of the stone is wearing away. And there are also some spots where, okay, I see what you're talking about with the pastel tiles. Yeah.
That's a neat detail.
Yeah.
Also, some of the goddamn signs are falling down. Is Reza impoverished, or do the thieves not have time for this shit?
I bet this used to be an actual incorporated city.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point.
And now it's just a refuge, like a
stopover in the desert.
Ungovernable city, you know?
Inside the town is a water pump, a horse drinking trough, various stalls of vendors selling wares, a few tables set up in a stone patio. There's also a tiny little road that goes from the patio to the few of the buildings. Also a pile of wood vertically stacked outside of places. On Seiki CD, Reza is more of a big field. It's a twisted arch of plant roots or branches that serves as the town entrance. So you get in there and we kick out to a cutscene, Chris. An engine cutscene.
Our guys pal around a bit. They circle around to discuss the next moves of the plan. Kyle welcomes the party to Reza and says not exactly the wealthiest town in the Marius zone, but a great place to learn the latest news and gossip. And the beer is lovely.
You called the beer divine in harmony.
If I liked beer, I would probably be more apt to call it divine than lovely.
I think like lovely should be reserved for wine.
Yeah, wine is definitely more lovely than
Velvety
divine.
shit.
Although there is a god of wine, so shout out to my guy Dionysius.
Yeah.
Good buffs in Hades. Then some dude fucking runs us. Some Dross-like motherfucker comes running up on us.
He gets in Null's ass.
Bumps into Null's ass, and Null says, hey. Guy says, excuse me. Mia asks Null if he's all right. Kyle glares.
The guy zooms away real fast, too.
Yeah, he's pieced out quickly. Jessica says, well, the inhabitants of Reza are certainly rude. I can see why Kyle fits in so nicely here. Kyle knows what's up, and he says, hey, Null, did that guy bump into you? Null confirms. And says, wait, the white dragon wings. That's our teleporting device that we've been using.
That I use all the time to go to other towns.
Now we can't go to other towns and talk to NPCs.
God fucking damn it.
It's over with now. Podcast over.
Yep.
Sorry. Kyle says, well, you just learned the only real downer to this place. It's a den of thieves.
You also seeing, I think, a new portrait for Kyle where he bares his teeth.
Yes, he is definitely the one who bares his teeth at
God.
Me.
Yeah.
Me, who is God.
You are.
There are so many of them, and they've even formed a guild. Watch your valuables. This place can get a little rough. Jessica says, hey, Kyle, perhaps you could have warned us before Null got robbed. Kyle says, Rez is a big town. If we're going to find those wings, we better start looking now. Jessica says, I know you heard me, you selectively deaf weasel.
Weasel count. Chris, you got any favorite weasels?
Any favorite weasels? I'm trying to think of any famous cartoon weasels.
There's 5.
And I can't think of any other than there is a trio of weasels that live in Mutant Town in the IDW Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Mutated weasels?
Comic book, yes.
Like the fucking frogs, but weasels?
Yeah, in that comic, spoilers for issue fucking 100 or something, a mutagen bomb goes off in New York City.
Of course,
and a bunch of fuckers get
Everybody's
mutated.
mutated.
Yeah, a bunch of fuckers get mutated, and then they get formed into a ghetto, basically.
Yeah.
And that becomes the basis for a story, yes. And there's 3 kids, and they just call them the Weasels, and they're weasels.
Well, the correct answer, of course, is smartass, greasy, psycho, wheezy, and stupid, who are the gangster weasels in Roger Rabbit.
It's not happening for me, Eric.
Smartass is the gangster with the gun, like the smooth talker. I think stupid has the propeller hat and the baseball bat. Psycho's the one in the straight jacket. Wheezy's the smoker.
Yeah. Zinc, Zana, and Mushroom.
Fucking Zinc. Jesus.
Sorry, it was bothering me.
The pursuit of truth is nothing else if not this podcast. On Psyche CD, this kind of goes the same way. You get burgled the second you walk into town, but Kyle says he knows the guy, and he tells us they went off to the bar.
Oh, okay.
Well, do you want to parade through all the NPCs or parade through the real net, Chris?
You decide.
I would like to go to the real net.
Let's parade to the real net.
Initializing real net.
Hello, real nets. Thank you for joining us on this world tour of scrotals and thievery.
Scrote me.
Scrote me.
Scrote me.
Yes, I will scrote.
Dare to scrote. Dare to dream. Scroticus.
Jesse says, at this point, the scrotal sound drop should just be on a huge red button. I may change it to red. I can change the colors. Right now it's blue.
Well, can you like USB something where it's like the Staples Easy button, but...
Oh, I'm probably sure. I probably could, yeah. Kal-El says, I believe a bastard sword is a hand and half sword, so halfway between, like Chris said. Okay. Sword for bastards. Okay. Bastard.
A lot of bastard content.
Kal-El says, let's pause for a moment to again marvel at how Final Fantasy VII Remake somehow managed to do the cross-dressing scene well.
That is actually a modern miracle, I think.
Yeah.
Although it's one of those things where I wonder if in 15 years that'll still be considered something that was handled well.
John Doe says, that French play about a gay couple was also adapted into the movie The Birdcage.
With Nathan Lane and Robin Williams?
Robin Williams. So Victor probably knew about it.
Actually, yeah, if that was in Birdcage, that would have been...
When you were explaining the plot to that, I thought for a moment, oh, that kind of sounds like The Birdcage.
I've seen The Birdcage, but not since it came out.
Elmel says, I like the idea of bromance as a reward/secret mechanically, but the actual substance of the thing is, haha, okay, stop being horny.
It is definitely a unique thing for Lunar. I don't know that other games explicitly appealed to the teenage male gaze like that. Mm. But, I mean, I think there's one for Nash, right? Or no, there's a hot springs scene.
There's a bully hot springs, yeah.
Was the Galleon bromide him in the robe at the pool?
Oh, that's true. Feet exposed. Rob Owen says, man, I swear Victor Ireland already said nookie in an earlier episode. It's very possible. it is currently impossible to keep up with all the different references and remember them all.
No human can do it.
Eric Vane says the performative anger over Barney was a presage, good word,
Yeah, great word.
of Gamergate. Adult men getting unreasonably angry at entertainment not meant for them.
That is, I think that does track, but I do think it was also more a product of a more monoculture society and Barney just taking over various aspects of it. And also, like, a lot of cartoons, I don't want to say were maturing, right? But like X-Men and Batman were for more adolescent, and then Barney was also, for some reason, grouped in the same time slots sometimes, maybe. I don't know. Like, I want to watch the good cartoons. How come Barney's on? I don't know. I would like to read more about that.
I think Barney was so striking because you could very easily sit down and watch an episode of Sesame Street right now and be like, okay, this is fun. This is nice.
Yeah.
But Barney was so over the top, and it was very, very targeted towards like 3-year-olds. And if I
could not have subtlety because of its target.
If I remember correctly, the target age of Sesame Street used to be like 6-year-olds.
Yeah.
As the years went by, it went lower and lower. And so Barney may have been one of the first popular shows that was targeted at a demographic that young.
Like even lower than Nick Jr. stuff.
Yeah. Thus it made it just kind of grating.
Well, there was also the way to insult your friends with casual homophobia. I love you, you love me, happy family, all that stuff.
Yeah. John Doe says magic gimp or galleon. John Doe says Jess and Kyle feel like the kind of toxic relationship where they amplify each other until they self-destruct.
I definitely, not as an adult, but did remember like going on double dates with a couple, like the girlfriend's friends, and like there was an argument, like this was a real thing that people just argued all the goddamn time.
Mm-hmm.
Like you don't see that as much as you mature as an adult and your friends also mature, but that is definitely like especially a teenager thing.
Yeah.
To be like, you all should just break up, please.
Maybe the most earnest thing in this video came so far.
Yeah. Like that's a true lived experience.
Hellmel says, Chris describing the way the pod consumes NPC dialogue is not the way it was meant to be consumed. To its detriment reminds me of a couple years back, I watched all 155 episodes of Lupin the Third, Part 2.
Congratulations.
By watching it like I would a normal TV show, and this is not how that show was meant to be watched.
Yeah, like Tiffany and I got through all of Seinfeld recently, but it took us 2.5 years. Like you're not. It's kind of like the thing where like we're not meant to use social media because our brains can't process this much global content at once.
It's the same concept of the difference between consuming something on a weekly basis or a seasonal basis, like Seinfeld was, versus I think the trend has died down a little bit, but like the Netflix binge.
Oh, the binge, yeah.
Thing, where like shows. There's a period of time I don't watch very many Netflix shows anymore, if any. But there was a period of time when like shows were specifically designed to be like fucking cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Move on to the next one.
Every single thing.
Yeah.
And also poorly lit.
Inexplicably blue.
Yeah.
When I had these glasses don't have blue light filters, but like my other ones do. And if I put them on during a Netflix show, you can really fucking see the difference.
Really?
Of the fucking weird blue tint.
To make you think you have like a version of the They Live glasses?
Yes. Like, this is what the show's supposed to look like, I think. Hellmel says, I wonder how the people of Lunar feel seeing the party show up every 3 hours to talk to everyone.
They're back.
Okay, John Doe has a perfect distillation of the black pill thing that I was trying to explain earlier.
Yes. Enlighten me. I think I've heard that word, but never thought about what it means.
John Doe says, black-pilled is like the red-pilled people who have managed to incel circle jerk their way into reinventing phrenology.
Phrenology?
Phrenology, there it is, yeah.
So calipers, skull measuring.
Yes, but it has to do with like the dating sexual marketplace thing.
So like you geometrically measure a lady's face to see if it's good?
No, it's about the man's face.
Oh.
Like women are only attracted to like this basis of.
Oh, okay.
And
right. So if you look
life
like
isn't fair, and or whatever, it's.
You're geometrically ruled out. You must get plastic surgery to look.
There's probably some deep dives you can watch on that one if you're ever interested.
No, I'm okay.
There's some knowledge that you can also just say, I'm okay.
I'm fine. I'm good. Would you want to talk about Lunar or you want to talk about black pills? I only got room for one.
Mm-hmm. Kal-El says this is a Spice Girls podcast now. You heard it here first.
I read the Spice Girls Wikipedia about once every 5 years.
It's good. Good for you.
Spice up your life.
Eric Vane says putting liquor on shrines and gravesites is a pretty common thing in Japanese culture.
No, also true.
I did not know that.
Edgar Allan Poe's grave.
Yeah, John Doe also points out that black pill stuff also had this weird offshoot I think it was called looks maxing. Heard of looks maxing?
I've heard of various noun maxing, but I don't know about
looks.
looks.
Looks maxing was like doing stuff like pressing your tongue to the top of your skull to like modify your facial structure.
What?
Or like holding like weird exercises you can do with your face to like make your jawline more protruding.
Is this something that adults do, or is it like a kid
It was like
trend?
teenagers.
Okay. Teenagers I totally understand getting caught in this bullshit.
Yeah. Eric Verdon says some men would rather reinvent God than go to couples therapy. And with that, we thank you, Real Ned, for joining this podcast. And we'll see you in the next episode of Retrograde Amnesia. This episode is a production of Retrograde Amnesia, recorded on April 6th, 2025. Thank you, Mark
Shepard.
for the intro music.
How come Eric never says thanks?
Steph, thank you for the podcast artwork. Thank you to the YouTubers who put YouTubes on YouTube.
Thank you to Set Free Plays for the upcoming PSP footage and Nintendo Complete for the Sega CD footage.
You can find this podcast on Bluesky and or YouTube at Retrograde Amnesia. And if you like this podcast, well, you can support it on Patreon at patreon.com/retroam and get yourself some ad-free episodes, early access, 2 weeks bonus episodes, miniseries, live streams, and whatever other bullshit we can come up with.
Do you think Mark?
I think I thanked Mark, but you know what?
Thank Mark again.
Thank you, Mark.
Thank you, Mark.
For the introductory music. Until next time, Eric.
Have a big weasel.
And now, you may release your weasel. Season 9, the Ogre season. Ogre Battle, Tactics Ogre,
War Gods,
Shrek. This Death Valley Orange Cream, a taste of the Old West.
Now break it over your head. Is that better or worse than a Stewart's Orange Cream?
It's standard.
The Orange Cream, I think there's not a lot of variance in there.
All right. Here we go. Yeah. Kill the Grand Poobah. Eliminate the toughest. It's kill the Grand Poobah.
I don't think there's any more.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah. I got caught up in the Transformers comic over the weekend, or during the weekend. It was
it's funny. Cut this, but you gave me that anthology last time. I'm almost done with that, and I was like, well, the next I should see when this comes out, because I've never bought a comic book in my life. I was surprised that it's like $15. That seems like an absurd deal.
The individual issues are like $4 or $5.
That's crazy.
And the trade paperbacks, the ones that I've been giving you, are between $15 and $20.
Because I thought that was like a $35 item or some shit. Like that's how much like a color book like that in my head costs today. But that is absurdly cheap. Comic books are fucking. I was not aware of their market.
Trade paperback is the most efficient way to read comics if you want to read them on actual paper.
Oh, okay.
But probably when the whole series is done, they'll release a hardback omnibus or something like that. Anyway, sorry.
Anyway,
yeah.
Meet me somewhere.
First kiss, tickle upper lip. We did that one. Feed grapes. Next, I talked to the jailsman, the jail guard.
We've already talked to him, but we have talked to him again. Yeah,
no, I don't want to talk to him again. Do.
But we're gonna get to a save corruption error.
Kyle tells her to calm down and don't get anyone else you heard. Are
we in hell?
It happened again. Sorry about that. My kid must have. The Alexa must got her wires crossed up here.
Quick, disconnect the reset the router.
Black Pill, I think, is like the community of people who it's about like the
sexual marketplace,
and there's only so many like chads to go around for the
pickup artists for the modern century.
Yeah, but it has to do like if your face is too fucked up, then you don't. I can't explain it, Eric. As you can tell, I'm struggling to explain it.
Okay,
but it is adjacent to like the men's right, the MRA
that
thing
whole fucking
from back then, but it's a little more subtle.
Okay, so it's like easier to release weasel into your.
I was gonna say you could easily call it the release weasels.
Fucking powers. The release weasels needs to be our fucking show. We need to fucking make whatever that is.
That's our. That's our morning radio show.
The release weasels.
Yeah.
With you're the weasel and I am also the weasel.
Yes. I was watching. What was I watching?
I don't know.
Daredevil season 3, I think.
Yeah, is there a lot of drugs in that?
No, but there is a lot of FBI in there.
Fuck yeah.
And in one of the FBI offices, there's like just a monitor with nothing on it except for the FBI emblem.
Yeah, it's drugs.
And all I think about is like the arcade machines that have the FBI thing on there that says winners don't use drugs.
Yeah, I've got a shirt that has that.
Yeah.
It's true. Winners don't use drugs. I never won anything in my life. I've also never really done drugs. It's fucked up. You can't win.
Winner. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You're going to press the button for fucking the war on drugs? What? It's smartass, greasy, psycho, wheezy, and stupid.
No, not those weasels.
It's smartass, greasy, psycho, wheezy, and stupid.
First the Pac-Man eats through a maze of dots. Then the Pac-Man heads for the corner spot. Then he eats his fill of a power pill. And then all those ghosts turn blue. Boo! And Pac-Man eats them all too.
Have you played Pac-Man? It's the new video computer game everyone's talking about. And naturally, it's from Atari.
Have you played Atari today?
I mean, honestly, if you want to do that, it's probably a better use of it.
I thought about it, but then I'm like, well, when would I ever use it?
Fun to look at.
Hook the PS5 up to it or something every now and then? I don't know. I don't know. Why are we talking about this? Standing near the southern gate standing near the gate.
Delete mine, but there's a new hot chicken place up the street from us called CM Chicken. It's Korean chicken. And they have hot chicken and ramen. That's their fucking thing.
Okay.
And I would never go there, but our fucking power was out the other night, so I couldn't cook dinner, so I went to go get this chicken.
Oh.
And they have the thing there where, you order the 1 to 10 scale, and I ordered a 9 because I figured, why start? Let's go out and do 9.
Mm-hmm.
And it was their third day being open, and the manager came out and was like, no one's ordered this yet. Are you sure you want to do this? And I'm like, this is a fucking great sign of the manager is getting my permission. I was like, yeah, I want to do this.
Did they make you sign a waiver?
Didn't have to sign anything, but they just wanted to check that I knew what I was doing. And I'm sad to report it did nothing to me.
Did nothing to you?
Nothing.
No sell.
But it was pretty good. It was good chicken. I'm going to go back and get 10 at some point.
Cool.
It's where the fucking KFC was in Fern Creek.
I'm shocked to hear that the KFC was still there within the last 10 years.
Yeah. It's like that and that Arby's. They're still alive, really?
God.
One of my friends cut his finger off at that Arby's.
That Arby's also holds a special place in my heart, too, because in high school, we were going to meet at the Arby's. And this predated cell phones, too. And one group of kids went to one Arby's.
Yeah.
And the other group of kids went to the other Arby's.
God fucking damn it.
And we never, they never showed up. And we tried paging the other people.
Oh, pagers. Yeah.
Yeah, using pagers, and they never responded. And so we just ate our Arby's and went back to my parents' house.
Yeah.
And then they came back thinking that something had happened to us.
Yeah, abducted at the Arby's.
Came into the basement, and we were just sitting down there having fun.
Yeah.
And one of the people in the other car got upset because that we were just in there having fun when they thought we were fucking dead.
Yeah.
It's a tough time for 16-year-olds.
I know, totally. This can't happen ever again.
That Arby's. It's my only memory from that Arby's.
What Arby's? Did they go to the Hurstbourne Arby's?
I don't know what fucking Arby's they went to. That was probably the last time I've been to Arby's. No, I've been to Arby's. Okay. Anyway, he says, not really. Adventures on the go have. Then I spoke with who did I speak with? She tells him to be quiet. No, but I don't remember why. I don't. You probably to be.
Yeah,
and then you heard it here, folks. Is that it?
Fly